Hey guys, it is John Seymour here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you guys today. And, we have another great show for you. I'm sure you guys already know that. But I wanted to let you know that, we're talking all about lights this week. And I'll get to that in just a minute, guys. But I really just want to thank everyone for being with me. Whether you're here now at 8:40 p.m. or you're here at another time, I just want to say thank you so much for being here because we have an amazing show and a lot of great stuff that I know that you guys are going to be happy that that you decided to be part of. So definitely, great to be here with you guys. And again, there's just so much that I want to share with you guys today. And that is the fact that, we have another great show. So thank you so much for being here, whether it's at the right time, whether it's 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 12 noon, 12 midnight, doesn't really matter. Our topic, ladies and gentlemen, for the week is red light moments, finding meaning in life stops and starts, series 3, show 20. And the granular topic for tonight is unlocking relationship success, navigating red lights, series 3, show 20, episode 4. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but I want to let you know that it's pretty amazing, what is going on and how we as people are being able to understand relationships in a completely different way. So let's get started with the very, very first point, which I think you guys are really going to appreciate tonight. That first point is we want to know, first of all, what are red lights in relationships? Like when do we go forward? When do we not go forward? I think that could be a challenging time for a lot of people. The reason I say that is because some people just don't get something. They just don't understand why something works a certain way or why it works another way. They just have no idea. So I want to let you know that it's important that people understand, what's going on, why things are going on a certain way. And I think that's probably the most important thing I want to say to you guys, because when we think about life and we think about what's happening, I think the biggest thing is the fact that sometimes we get stuck. We get stuck in our relationships, right? And we don't know why we're stuck. But we get stuck, right? We do get stuck, and we get stuck because, maybe we think something's going the right way, but then again, maybe it's not. And so you might be saying, John, I don't really know, and this is confusing for me. And I get that it's confusing. Believe me, I get that it's confusing. But if something was just to happen, you didn't really know why something was happening, then maybe it would make a little bit more sense to you, right? Maybe it would make a little bit more sense. Maybe not a lot of sense, but it would make a little bit of sense, right? Just a little bit of sense. All right. So thinking about, what's in our life, thinking about what's happening, why things are going a certain way, or why things are going a different way. And so what I want to share with you tonight is the red lights of relationships. So one red light of relationship is consistent boundary breaking. When somebody is constantly trying to push your boundaries down, like I don't mean just once, but I mean multiple times, that's a good indication that you are probably in a red light situation, and it needs to be addressed so people don't keep doing that over and over again. Another big one that a lot of people don't really know about, but it happens so often, is something that, we didn't hear the term as much, but it's becoming more prevalent right now. All right. And the term is gaslighting. So it's psychological manipulation, according to Merriam-Webster, of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that cause the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotional or mental stability, and a dependency on the perpetrator. Okay. So another one is the act or practice of grossly misleading someone, especially for one's own advantage. Gaslighting can be an effective tool for the abuser to control an individual. It's done slowly, so the victim writes off the event as one thing. So gaslighting can happen in a relationship circumstance, including between friends and family members, not just in a couple's relationship. But what is an example of gaslighting? Well, an example of gaslighting, let me see if I can give you like a simple one, because there's a lot of them. The first one I'm going to talk about is distracting with compassion. I love you so much, and I'd never intentionally hurt your feelings. How could you think I was flirting with her? Like, see, that's a distraction. That's like one. Minimizing or making fun of your feelings. Abuser might call your loved ones overly sensitive, critical, or dramatic. Or maybe they'll discount the achievements. Anybody could have done that, or anybody could have run a marathon, or anybody could have read a book with enough practice, or anybody could have, won the race, or whatever it was, or anybody could have invented that. I mean, that's discounting achievements. Denying abuse. They might insist, for example, that their partner tripped or fell or hurt themselves another way. And they may even be convincing that the victim starts believing this version of the truth. Maybe the person that they're with, they hit them and they cause a mark on them. But they tend to say that it was that they fell. They withhold information. They'll play mind tricks on their loved ones by insisting they told them to do something when they never did. Then they will get mad at their loved ones for forgetting. And it might play out like, what do you mean you didn't pick up the dry cleaning? I told you about it this morning. Were you not paying attention? So that's important. Let me say that again. It's when they play mind tricks with you, okay? They'll get mad at their loved ones for forgetting. And it could be something, like I said, like, what did you mean you didn't pick up the dry cleaning? I told you about it this morning. Or what do you mean you didn't pick up the oranges? I told you I needed orange juice this morning. Or what do you mean you didn't get butter? Or what do you mean you didn't get milk? So that's a problem. Another one is labeling the child's feelings. So you're not really hungry. You're not that upset. You're tired. Even if the parent has good intentions, you have no right to change what your child or any other member is feeling. Like, you're not really angry, you're just tired, or you're not really stressed. You just are hungry. Denying the truth is a big popular one. Parents will blatantly lie about certain situations. For example, they might insist that I never said that. And the child's making it up. You said that if I finished all my homework and I ate everything on my plate for a whole week, that I would get to go to the carnival. We never said that. That's lying. That's gaslighting. Question a child's memory. You don't remember what happened? Do you really believe I'd make this up? Even if a parent has subjectively different experiences than a child, a gaslighting parent will insist that only their version of the story is appropriate. As a result, children often feel invalidated about their experiences. That's a problem. You don't remember what happened? That's a problem. Shifting blame. Gaslighting parents will often blame their child for their own mistakes. They insist that a certain issue wasn't their fault, or the child somehow provoked it to happen, or they caused it. Dismissing the child's needs. It's perfectly acceptable for parents to reject particular requests, but gaslighting parents are often cruel and vindictive when doing so. For example, they might make snarky comments like, You're so spoiled, or why do you keep asking me for things? This leaves the child feeling like a burden and may exacerbate anxiety or depression. So there's also gaslighting in friendship, pitting friends against each other. Friends enjoying conflict and often rile people against another. That's really terrible. Befriending romantic partners. Gaslighting friends often want to get close to their friends' significant others. They do this deliberately, trying to incite jealousy. They show inauthentic concern. I'm getting worried about how much you forget things. Gaslighting friends may play charades, insisting they care about someone else's well being while simultaneously trying to tear that other person down. Frequent gossip. Gaslighting friends thrive on gossip. They love it. Therefore, they will often get close to people just to dig up dirt and then use the information as leverage when they need it later. Invalidating emotions is a big one. Gaslighting friends will make comments that really imply that the others are always exaggerating or acting inappropriately. They might make offensive statements. You don't really feel that way. It's not that bad. And then there's gaslighting at work, right? But we'll save that for another day. I really want to just talk about tonight. I want to talk about the relationship part. The next one that's very important when we think about relationship red lights is jealousy, persistent jealousy. I'm not talking about one-time jealousy. I'm talking about somebody who's jealous over and over and over again, and they just feel they can do it because they feel that you care about them and that you're trying. But really, what you're doing is you're kind of abusing them. I mean, it's sad to say this, guys, but you're really, really abusing them. And I think anybody that is going to cause that kind of problem, not for nothing, ladies and gentlemen, but it's really something I feel that I don't know. I feel it's something that people, they just don't get. And the reason they don't get it is because they're afraid of basically what's going to happen. So they make up all this crap, basically. I mean, that's really what they do. They make up all this crap, and they feel that if they do this, then they have a right to just do whatever they want. And see, that's a big problem, guys. That is a very, 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 very big problem. And so when we think about these different things that could be done, I think a lot of people don't realize the harm that they can cause others. I mean, maybe they don't mean for this to cause harm, but it is causing harm, guys. It's causing harm every single day. And if something causes harm every single day, then I feel that people might just be concerned about what's going on or maybe what's not going on. And you might say, John, I don't really understand this. Well, you have to understand a lot of people exist for the purpose to manipulate you. Now, I know that sounds like a bad thing, but let's face it, a lot of people today, I'm not saying it's a nice thing, many people are what we call opportunists. And they're opportunists because they can be. I'm not saying it's a good thing to be an opportunist, but I'm just saying that they do this. And they do this in a way that makes people feel really, 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 really bad. And so if somebody feels really, really bad, they feel that, well, it must be me. I must be the one that's the problem. No one else. I must be the one. And so now you take all this blame and put it on yourself. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's really terrible. And I can't believe somebody would do that. But let's face it, people are low. They will sink that low because they can. And so thinking for a moment about, thinking about like what this could mean to you or why somebody would do something. I mean, a lot of times, we don't expect something to happen, but then again, it just does. And so we're like, oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, how do I handle this? And persistent jealousy is one of those areas where people, they feel that they can do whatever they want. And jealousy, a lot of people equate to the fact that, you're being insensitive, when really they're not being insensitive. It's just, you're the one that's being a jerk. Okay. Especially if you're calling them out on the carpet. I mean, you know what you're doing. And let's just call a spade, right? Let's be quite honest about this. If we could be honest about something, then we wouldn't have to worry about it, right? But gaslighting is something, and so is being someone who is jealous, constant jealousy. I think that is a huge, huge problem for a lot of people. And maybe they don't understand like why, but they somehow start to understand that maybe this isn't the way it should be. Unfortunately, it's the way it is right now. And if it's the way it is right now, then maybe a change needs to happen. Like maybe a change needs to happen. I don't know. It's something I think we have to, be considerate of and know about. But I think jealousy is obviously a very, very big problem. So another one is someone who spends all their time on you. We might say, gee, John, that's a fantastic thing. Everybody spends all their time on me. Well, I got to be honest and tell you, no, it's not. The reason it's not is because it's somebody who doesn't quite get it. Okay? And when somebody spends all their time on themselves, that's a serious, serious problem. Okay? I mean, you're talking about a very, very serious problem. You might not think it means a lot to someone, but it does. And if somebody can use that ounce to, let's say, manipulate you, guess what? They will. And I think a lot of people get a little bit crazy over this whole concept. Okay? They get crazy over the concept, and then they don't exactly know what to do. And then they just feel like they're in some kind of a cycle that they can't end. Okay? They can't seem to end, what's going on. And if that is the case, then how do you move to a status that is like, now that it's like okay to do something? Well, I think this becomes a real challenge for a lot of people. It becomes a real challenge, and you don't actually know why or how something should be that way. You don't always know. But the more that you understand, the more that you work on things, the more that you can, let's say, equate things, I think that's when you've got potential on you. Okay? That's when you have potential. And so when I say that's when you have potential, that's when everything has the ability to go one place or another place. Okay? That doesn't sound like a hard thing, but it's something that I believe is really, how can I say? It's something that I believe is very, very powerful. Okay? And the reason it's powerful is because it affects each and every one of us. Each and every one of us, it affects. That's a slight issue, right? I would say it's a big issue if you really want me to answer the truth. Let's go back on to the next one. They have no friends. They hang around you, which we talked about before, but they have no friends, and it's because no one really will put up with them. No one wants to be having them in their life. And I'll tell you that most people, and I'm going to share one that was interesting in a minute, but the last one is they call their ex crazy. So I had a situation not too long ago. It was a friend of mine, and the friend of mine was being a little bit controlling, tried to tell me that I was making them feel overwhelmed when I wasn't doing anything of the sort, but they were pulling all these stops out of me because they felt they could. And that was wrong. So did I get angry about it? No. But I started to realize that that person's going to do things like that all the time. And if they do things like that all the time, I can't be taking the blame for it because, it's not my fault. It really isn't. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic Tuesday evening, May 14th, 2024. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Comment below. Go to believemeachieve.com. Scan the QR code on my hat. Definitely follow me on TikTok. I've got more great content coming for you guys, so definitely check it all out at believemeachieve.com. And I'll catch you guys real soon, all right? Have yourself a fantastic rest of the night. And be sure to watch some of these more than once because there's a lot of nuggets. And to catch them all in one breath, well, let's just say that's a little impossible. Have a good night, everyone.